The weather this spring in Tokyo has been mostly grey and rainy, and with the weather comes the need for some comforting warm food. Now, I don't know about you, but my definition of a comfort is anything that's soupy and a lot of carbs. So here are 5 different places that I would recommend for some nice comforting food on a rainy day in Tokyo. Tucked away in a small alleyway near Sunshine City in Ikebukuro is this Suman place. Suman is essentially a deconstructed ramen in which the soup and noodles are separated, and while it's very popular in summer, this place specializes in offering some of the richest soup bases I've ever tried, with seafood bases to pork bases. And can we take a moment to enjoy the sound? That was part of the orange peel that was grated on top of the noodles. And the reason why I like this place so much is because the citrus flavor is very pronounced and it really helps cut down on the richness of the soup. The soup is thick, rich, and concentrated, which is why the citrus really helps cut down on this rich flavoring, allowing you to enjoy the dish in a more sustainable manner, as I would like to think. Now, this place also serves ramen, in which you don't have to dip your noodles at all, it just comes in one bowl. Now, besides the noodle dishes, this place probably serves my favorite gyoza in Tokyo. Because firstly, look at the size of the gyoza. This thing is massive and it's probably the juiciest gyoza I've ever tasted, along with some of the most flavorful ones. I simply cannot get enough of it, and while I may not order gyozas in other places, this is a place I will always order it. Following the theme of thick chewy noodles in a rich broth, this is curry udon, or as the menu says, curry nana udon, which is a combination of curry and carbonara udon in a Japanese way. This dish is served with the sauce split, half being a Japanese-style carbonara sauce and the other half being a thick beef curry, and not forgetting the nice pat of butter on top. Now, I'm pretty sure the instruction was to try the sauces each with the udon, but I couldn't help myself, I had to mix it all up, because this is just such an intriguing mix to me, and was so incredibly rich and creamy in a way that a normal curry udon would not normally taste like. It had a rich, beefy flavor to it without an overly salty taste, which is always a great combination when you're trying to watch out for your sodium intake, and I can see why this will be incredibly popular on both a rainy and non-rainy day. Now, this was a dish that I had stumbled upon, and it's literally just rice and soup. It seems to be one of the dishes that is a Western and Japanese fusion, and this dish in particular that I got is a Teto Piton set, which is essentially a thick chicken-based soup, which is like a sister to the common pork base. Now, among all the dishes in this video, I think this one can definitely rank as a top comfort food, as it has all the components that I described earlier in the video that consist of a comfort food. It has lots of soup and lots of carbs. This one consisting of very nice, delicious rice. As a carbs lover, in particular rice, there's nothing that can go wrong with like a solid onigiri or this overflowing mouthful of sushi that I featured a couple times on my video. I like it when my onigiri is grilled like this because it gives a really nice chew to the rice, and sometimes we just want to daydream on a day where it's cold and rainy, it's good to have something just to chew that have a bit of bite to it. Same with the sushi, there's so many components on it and you're really meant to put it all in your mouth in one bite, so you'll be preoccupied for a good while as you're moving through the different components, but fortunately they're all soft and you will definitely not choke. And finally, and certainly not least, there's no video about comfort foods in Tokyo that can be complete without some form of ramen. When most tourists think of Japanese food, they think of ramen, and for many of us, our first exposure to Japanese food is some sort of ramen. And there's so many things about it that just makes it the perfect comfort dish. You have a very warm broth that is often thick and rich in flavor, a lot of carbs in the form of noodles, meat, and other additional toppings that you can customize to your liking. There are so many variants of ramen in Japan and even in Tokyo itself that you're bound to find something that suits all your preferences, or you can even customize it to something you like. But of course, if you're anything of a foodie, you would know that Tokyo has a ton of social media famous food, and I have actually made a video on some of the most popular ones that kept appearing on my TikTok that I personally went to go and try. And after trying out at these places, I can definitely see why they're popular and why they're so worth the hype. There's nothing I like better than a good value and tasty food. So since you're done with this video, why don't you check that one next?